I think when we're looking at UCLA, Sam, we got to start with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He is the focal point of that Bruins offense. He's one of the best signal callers in the country. Just kind of tell me, what do you think the Bruins have in DTR, and what does he bring to the table?
Yeah, I think when it comes to Dorian, he's such a dynamic playmaker, and he's got obviously really good speed on the ground. He's agile. He's just an overall good runner. But when it comes to his arm, he's got a lot of throw power and pretty good accuracy. But just overall, physically, he's there. He's definitely there. There had been some questions the past few years with decision making, but this year only 2 interceptions through 7 games. So he's definitely fixed that. Whatever the issues were there, whether it was mechanical or just mentally, he's fixed that. The thing about Dorian, though, is that through the first couple games, he couldn't really put together a complete game. He would be just kind of shaky coming out of the gates in the first half. Happened against Hawaii, happened against Arizona for sure, and Stanford a little bit to an extent, where he would kind of come out of the gates slow, and then the second half just go all out and rack up the stats and put the game away, which was good. But I think what you really saw this past week against Washington was a complete game from him. He was 21 of 26, 183 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, 87 rushing yards, didn't take a sack. His first half, his second half, just start to finish, he was really good. That's the kind of guy that UCLA needs, someone who can get into a rhythm, who they're not like forcing to make a crazy comeback and 6 crazy throws in a row. They need Dorian to get into a rhythm, to hit a bunch of short passes, use the play action. And I think that's how Dorian will succeed, how the UCLA offense will succeed, because as good as that running game is, it can only take them so far in some of these bigger games. So you're going to need DTR to play up to his ceiling pretty much for both halves.
I think we see some similarities there as far as, playing a full 4 quarters and being consistent, right? Because that's something when you're looking at the Oregon team, they really haven't done that since the Ohio State game in week 2 in Columbus. And I think that we see, obviously, what benefits kind of come from that. And Oregon hasn't been a team that has started, fast. That's not been a calling card for them over these past couple seasons. So I think especially when you're the visiting team, obviously there's so much excitement around UCLA. I don't know how hostile of an environment, you would maybe call it, just because of how they've been performing over the past couple of years. But there's as much juice around this program as there's probably been in quite some time, obviously with how well they're playing. But when we're talking about defending DTR, Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be such a big part of that, right? He wasn't able to play in the first half against Cal, comes into that second half and just takes over, pressure on, I think it was half of his snaps was that stat from PFF that everybody's talking about.